Welcome back. So this is where I'm at. I'm pretty much waiting for some deliveries and they should be with me today. So I've got the front screen ready to go in. I've got the trim inserted into the Wolfsburg West sill already. The rear screen and trim is all ready for me. Got that out of the loft the other day, cleaned it down. Now the sill that I've had for many years just stashed away was actually a cowl look sill, so it didn't have the groove for the insertion of the trim, so that's on order. What I have received already is my new fuel tank that I mentioned I was going to have to purchase in the last video, and that was after finding the tiny pinholes. They made themselves known to me after trying to clear the bottom of the tank down. Now that's been delivered with a real nice dark grey powder coated finish to it, and I was in two minds whether or not I would have to paint it. I think I will, because the black would look smarter, to be honest. I've also got some headlight seals and some new chrome rings coming for these headlights. These ain't going to clean up, and the ones that I had in the loft, albeit the original items, they don't have the same adjusting screw patterns on them. So hopefully the ones I've ordered are correct, because there's obviously a few variations out there, but I can't put that on the car. I did attempt to try and clean this side up, but you can still see that it is very badly pitted. So I realised I need all new inner scrapers for the bus, and I need the chrome trim for the other side, the actual driver's side. And of course, when you place an order, you've got to make it up to get the old delivery for free. I think what I'll do in the meantime while waiting for those deliveries is visit the bus and get each panel done with the 400 wet and dry. I can't actually remember where I left off. Going to be a bit of a panic if that comes down. So hard to manoeuvre about in here. This long centre panel here on this side is particularly bad. I had some real mad gun issues going on. I remember I've got runs going on, too much paint being applied, and I've also got like a spattering, almost like an Artex type of feel going to it. So it's a lot of work on this one. There's only so much sanding that you want to watch me do anyway, isn't there? Well, that's a good couple of hours work there. I think I've managed to get all the contaminants out and pretty much smooth all the panels down as much as I can. Next, it's going to be a case of actually washing all these panels down, getting them prepped and getting a new tape job done. She's all wiped down nice and clean, just with water initially, before the actual painting. Obviously, I'll get some panel prep on her. It's actually quite gutting to see so much overspray on the chassis components. Something else I'll revisit one day, just to make it look nice, you know. Still raining. First bit of post, been waiting a while for this one. See if it's going to be adequate enough. Might just do it. So this urethane rubber is to make myself some of those spacers that hold the winder mechanism. Can't find them for love nor money. It's not too bad scoring and cutting this with a Stanley actually. That's the rough cuts made, and now I'm just going to fold these edges down, get them like that. Not too shabby, eh? So it's 3 each side. I'm going to keep this one in my little stash box just in case a future event comes up and I might need to make some more. And this is going to allow me to complete both doors now. I'll get these on and then I can get the panels on. So now I've made them, I'm not entirely sure about where they're actually meant to go, but the only space I can see is I've put two behind this section here and one just up underneath here, just to stop any rattling or movement of that winder mechanism. Just found something else that needs a coat of black paint, although just doing a little bit of filler work because the tailgate clipped the edge of that panel there. And my order's just landed. This is going to be the last order that I make for quite a while due to lack of funds, but I've got brand new chrome headlight rims for the Beetle. I've got me inner scrapers and an outer scraper for the bus. That's the driver's side outer trimming, and the seals that go with the headlights for the bug. Oh. Simple little repair done, and I've just started taping up on the top side of the bus. More cleaning up to do while the rain continues. More orange found. Been cleaning up the hardware for these front air flaps. I've got everything together now, and I'm just chasing out the threads for the bolts. I've actually gone and lost one of the spring clips that resides behind that flap. It's actually dropped all the way down, and to my knowledge there's no way of getting that. But it still operates. I'll pick one up at some point, get it on order. Some of this tape just ain't playing ball at the minute. It's lost its stickiness. That's the rear screen seal fitted. Just got to put the chrome trim in there now. This window's actually quite bad. In my youth I was probably inside there at some point with an angle grinder, and yeah, it's quite pitted as a result of that. Well, it looks like it might stay a little bit dry for a while anyway, so I'll try and get some wrap on the roof. Going to have to ensure that this sheeting is actually taped down properly also, because past experience, the vacuum from the gun starts lifting the sheet up and it disturbs all the dust that might be around it. Yeah, this tape ain't doing too great, you know. It's lost its tackiness. sliding door and that window done. Anyway, and the door's next. Cleaning these hinge covers down, and a little cheeky JB Weld repair to the corner there. Had a little hole punched in it. Spent a good hour getting that trim into the rear window. That's ready to go now. Got myself some strimmer string and trying to attempt to put the back window in, I reckon. Just pushing it in with a lolly stick. That's the rear one done, and I've made sure that both of these lines crisscross, and this is going to be the first time for me. And the front. Now I think I'm going to start with the rear glass. Get all these clips off first. Well, that's definitely not happening all by myself, so we'll have to wait. Nah, not getting very far with that. Nearly halfway there. That's both winder mechanisms for the bus, degreased and re-greased, totally cleaned down. Well, that might not look like it. Just got to find the rubber tubes that sit on the ends now. Ha, that's them. Little cheeky date stamp there. See, these can pretty much be bolted back up now. Now I'm going to have to extend these wires for the rear lights. For some reason they're just too short. I don't like to just go ahead and extend them like this, to be honest with you, but it'll work. I've got red, I've got black, but for the grey, it's going to have to be green. That's a much better length to work with, and I'm using the connectors like that. Just put the old heat gun on it, and the solder does its thing. Got the ends on those extended wires. Just up underneath the Beetle for a minute. Bowden tubes in. Just got to find everything else to finish that off. I'm also getting into the realm of discovering that everything I look at is 400 quid. Exhaust, 400 quid. Pop top for the bus, 400 quid. Interior for the Beetle, 400 quid. Just knocked together this little tool out of a little bit of old brake pipe and a copper tube. That was a 22mm tube. Squashed it down and cut a slit into the side, which allows me to fold my wet and dry around. And then that allows me to get into that grill area and get some of the runs out. These areas inside here I'm going to revisit with my airbrush. Just a little bit of spare paint left over at the end of the day, and I use that on the bunk beds. I know I didn't get much of that on film. It was quite a quick decision to get a coat on there basically, and there's just a little couple of areas that I'm not happy with still, but it's a step in the right direction. It's pretty even now, to be honest with you. A little bit patchy on that passenger door there, and I'm not overly happy about inside those grills, so that's going to get a little revisit in there. And there's going to be small areas that I'm going to have to come back to, but not too many. Nearly there. And obviously the tiller paint was fine. I was a little bit concerned that the long winter and the time taken since the last coat might have dried it out, but nah, it's all good. It's now about 1 week after actually spraying it, and I'm onto the wet sanding. too sad. There is a few areas that need a little bit more paint on, so I'm just going to do the whole bus and then revisit it. Not sure if I mentioned, but this is 1000 grit. You'd think it's pretty flat, but it's not. Saying that, it is really. Let me just wipe it down and see if I can show you. There we go, so it's just drying off now. The shiny bits are the high and the matte bits are the low, so just keep sanding. Unfortunately, it appears that it hasn't worked out very well for the interior panels that I visited with the old vinyl dye a little while ago. For some reason it's still remaining very sticky. We've had hot, we've had cold weather, so that's been variable. But I'm going to have to lose that idea, to be honest with you. I didn't actually notice, but some of these are rotten on the bottom corners, so it makes sense to change them out. Yeah, it's been soaking up some moisture somewhere. Oh, that looks wrong anyway, doesn't it? A little damp on that. It's quite hard to show with just one hand, but this card is quite a lot out. I was actually chucking this out from work. I love a freebie. And out of that hardboard, hopefully I'll have enough for that bit of the roof there. That's proving quite difficult to find also. Well, I won't lie, that is a lot of work and it's nearly there. The car's been in and out more times than a fiddler's elbow. I mean, it keeps raining and then the sun's out again. See how long it lasts this time. Not long. And I've changed my mind on the interior yet again. So the new board that I cut out, I then stained, and I was going to try and leave it like a sort of natural wood colour, but upon sanding you just can't get a decent finish with this type of board. It's all over the show. So I've got a load of Hessian, and that is going to tie in nicely with the colour on the outside and inside of the bus. The interior, I think, is going to look quite nice with it. So at some point shortly, I'll get wrapping them interior panels. But for now, the next year is probably going to be spent sanding this thing down. going to be enough of that for now. My fingers are actually starting to wrinkle where I've been sanding for so long. But there's areas on there that obviously still need flatting. And on the other side, I'll show you that now. If you've been following along for quite a while now, this particular panel gave me a lot of trouble when I was applying some paint at one point. That area had way too much paint on it. It had runs, etc. on it. So I've managed to get that fairly flat now. Just needs a little bit more work around its perimeter. But it's getting there. It is getting there. I mean, this door I've only just started really. And there's still a lot of shiny high parts there. Just sometimes you realise you're going to have to spray it all again. I may as well, to be honest. It's a little bit thin in places. I've got enough paint, and yeah, I'll just do another coat. Why not? Save me just doing little bits. One job that I keep meaning to do, I've just taken these steelies off the wall there, and I need to get these tyres off because there's a few things I want to paint black, and these rims will be one of them, just for keepsake really. I'm just going to put them back on the wall for some time until I decide to have a little change up, to be honest. But yeah, I've got 2 off already, just with a sledgehammer and 2 pry bars. Done, all wire wheeled and rust treated. They're all etch primed, ready for primer. I think I'll close this video here though. It's probably way too long now. Get the car in before it starts raining again, so make it better than it was. I'll see you sometime on the next one.